as a fellow hip hop writer, is that you didn't necessarily write about your favorite records, but you wrote about the ones, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong, the ones that were most significant at the time, that really represented the time, and the ones that you felt, should be written about. And, just tell us about how that applies, especially, the ones in the early 90s, 91. You wrote us there were 3 from 91. And
3 from 91. Well, Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory is kind of undeniable classic.
Right.
Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped is one that I think a lot of people don't really consider a classic, but if you really kind of dig into it and take it apart, I mean, Mind Playing Tricks on Me is one of the best hip-hop songs of the 90s.
And With Being Broke, is that on there?
Yeah, I believe that's on there.
Yeah,
they went through a lot of drama and changes too. I always like to just talk about how groups, there's always like a breaking point where a group could, every group goes through a lot of BS, like from when they start to when they put out a record, and it really depends how strong they are, and the Ghetto Boys went through a lot of stuff, like before We Can't Be Stopped, and they could have easily broken up at any point and just said, forget it, it's not really worth it, and they stuck with it, and that was a great record, went platinum. A lot of people forget that back then.
People now forget even that word exists.
Yeah,
platinum.
Yeah, it's true. So, and then Cypress Hill was one of the other ones.
Which album?
That came out the first.
The first
Cypress Hill,
self-titled debut.
which was a really amazing record.
I was only 11 when that came out. That explains so much as to just this degenerate path of life that I've taken since.
It was a feat for an 11-year-old to even have that record.
I had it.
You had it?
Yeah, I still didn't know why I could just kill him.
It was a feat because
I was at least negotiating it.
Yeah, because my parents, my dad was the one who bought me rap records. He was the one who pretty much turned me on to rap. I was into metal, in the 80s and stuff, but I just remember. Yeah, and so I just remember.
Like, son, you're black.
He used to have those conversations, no lie, really. So I remember, an album like that, or like even Black Sheep's, Wolf Sheep's Clothing, that came out in 91.
Yep.
You wrote about that, and that basically those were like the dirty albums that I pretty much had to, go to a friend's house and hear, you know what I mean, and just be happy that I heard it, because like my father was just, if it had like 2 or 3 curse words in it, he wouldn't buy it for me, you know. And
well, it's interesting you say that, because that's one of the other things that I always try to talk to different artists about and talk about in the book is like the Roots chapter in the book for Do You Want More is one of my favorites, and Amir Questlove talks about that exact kind of situation. Like, he wasn't supposed to listen to hip hop either. He was supposed to be this jazz prodigy. His dad was this kind of R&B singer, fairly well known, and he always wanted him, the last thing he wanted him to do was become a hip hop guy. So Amir kept the Roots hidden, away from his dad until they got signed, for many years.
Until they were on the Jimmy Fallon show.
Exactly.
Well,
Not quite that long.
I noticed that, a lot of those guys' parents were children of the dream, which was like from the civil rights era. So a lot of them have basically just had them, more focused on doing the right thing, so to speak, and going to school, be educated, do something that's respectable, like a job that they didn't have the opportunity to get because they were just out of, Brown versus Board of Ed and all the drama of, of the 60s and right before, the Civil Rights Movement was passed, the Civil Rights Act was passed. So they wanted to have this secure future. They thought hip hop was just like a kind of like a fad, and it wasn't a viable music.
And, most people outside of hip hop have always thought it's a fad, but everyone inside of hip hop has always known that it's anything but, that it's the real deal, and it's a life you kind of live. So
it's like what Screamo kids are going through right now.
Exactly.
Brian, I don't know, on the 91 tip, but on the same what we've been talking about, I'm curious as to, of course, now hip hop is just about, the older, Dane and I complaining about, what's going on in contemporary hip hop. If we're talking about 91, just even vaguely, was there a 91's important because it's right before what happened in 93 and the East Coast Rush, but around 91 were people really lamenting about what was missing that was there in the 80s? Was there any of that, or was it kind of all progress was embraced?
I don't remember being terribly despondent back then about it, you know, but I mean, I've always been of the kind of mindset that, like, I don't have to be, if I'm not entertained by anything that's out now, then I will be very happy to listen to something that came out 5 years ago. I mean, it's,
Right.
music is music, it's kind of timeless, and listen to the latest, latest is, it's kind of overrated, you know, because the newest and latest will become the classics if they deserve to become the classics, you know what I mean? So, 91 was a really interesting year because hip hop had been through a lot, you know, had been through Public Enemy, NWA, and everything like that, and it was trying to find new identities, you know, so you had, you know, you got Main Source there.
Was Hammer? What year did Hammer come out?
In '89.
Hammer was like, yeah, 89.
Yeah,
so
let's
had
get it
been
started.
through kind of all these weird, very kind of, you know, cataclysmic type of things, you know, and murders and things like that. But then, you know, you did have groups like Black Sheep and KMD who were taking a lot of things that, say, like De La Soul had done in Ultramagnetic and kind of built upon them. De La Soul, when did Balloon come out?
That was '93.
Okay, so De La Soul is Dead was 91.
91, yeah.
So
Yeah.